Welcome to the second episode of the Players Lounge. This after an exciting first week of fantasy football. We come to you live from the update desk, where we're going to give you the scores and highlights of this week's fantasy matchups. First off, it was the internet nerds who rammed it up the team known formerly as the Dicks, 116-75, thanks to Fantasy Star of the Week, Arian Foster's 58 points. Next, Mega Turd upset the STDs when Kevin Cobb went out with an injury and a concussion that may keep him out for another week. After the game, the waiver wire lit up as Greg Johnson signed 18 new players to long-term deals. The third game in the matchup was the Bring It On cheerleading squad barely edged out the Fart Stinky Underwear, or whatever FSU stands for, 109-102, thanks to the number one pick, Chris Johnson. The fourth matchup was a family affair between Barefoot and Pregnant versus the Commissioner Lardbutt, 148-64, proving that Schultz really is the authority on all things that sucks. This then brings us to our fantasy highlight match of the week, where yours truly took on Hot Dogs by Chicago. And we didn't fare so well. And all week, I've heard the jokes. I've seen the comments posted to the message board. The franchise player couldn't cut the mustard. Quick, somebody give him a Heimlich. He's choking on a wiener. And you ran your big mouth all week, but you bit off more than you can chew. I could sit here and make excuses, telling you why I lost, that because one of my starting running backs is gone for the season, the nose tackle on my defense went out after 6 plays for the second consecutive year. I could make excuses, but I'm not going to. Instead, I applaud my opponent for a job well done. Losing the fantasy game is one thing, but that's just it. It's fantasy. The loss that really hurts is that of the New York Jets. We have a lot in common, even though I'm one of their biggest fans. Much like the New York Jets, the franchise players have aspirations of the Super Bowl. Now I admit this is only week 1, and there's still a long season to go. You know, time for action is now. That is why I brought in my idol, my inspiration, and a good friend of mine, Rex Ryan. We have a lot in common, Rex and I. We're both loud, obnoxious, and have our own reality TV show. That's why I invited Rex to come speak to my players this week to give them a pep talk. And this is what he had to say.
Can we not throw it anytime we want to fucking throw it? Let's make sure we play like the fucking New York Jets and not some fucking slapdick team. That's what I want to see tomorrow. Do we understand what the fuck I want to see tomorrow? Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.
What? Well, that was a good idea. Everybody could use a snack. It's hungry. Anyway, so I won't go 16-0. But that doesn't matter, because the last team to go undefeated was the New England Patriots. And you know, all know how that ended. They lost the game that mattered, the last one, the Super Bowl. So that's why I guess fantasy football is a lot like college football, where it's better to lose early than late to get all the BCS points and championships. Speaking of college football, am I ever excited about this week's matchup? I'm just coming back from a business trip to Austin, and as you can tell, I am very excited about this week's Red River rivalry game as the Texas Longhorns, Hook 'em Horns, take on the Oklahoma Sooners in what's soon to be a fantastic matchup between two great college teams. Wait, is this the right script? I thought we were talking about NFL fantasy. Why does my script say college? Wait, hold a sec. Let me get my producer on the line. Yeah, Morty, I'm here. I'm doing the show right now. And I'm going through the script here, and why has it got me talking about college football when we're doing NFL fantasy? What? Well, I made some tweaks to the script because it didn't make much sense there. Yeah, it says Red River Rivalry Game right on it. Who am I playing this week? The only girl. But why is that called the Red River Rivalry Game then? Oh. You want me to say what? Have you been listening to the news this week? Especially with the New York Jets? With women in the locker room and all women in sports? You know, in this PC world, I don't know if I can get away with this. I'm already in a sensitivity training class. Now you may even get my show canceled. We'll be taken off the air. Alright, I trust you. I listen. We'll take it from the top. Alright, thanks. Alright, we're gonna cut. That's a cut, everybody, cut. Alright, this is the Players Lounge, Episode 2, Take 2. Back to the Red River Rivalry Game. Brought to you by our sponsors, Tampax. Knick-knack, paddywhack, stop your flow with Tampax. Today we're taking on the only girl in fantasy football. Why is there a girl in fantasy football? I don't know. Probably because her husband's the commissioner and he needs to fill a roster spot. But all I do know is that she is lousy at picking teams, and she probably picked her teams like this. Peyton Manning. Oh, he's cute. I saw him on Saturday Night Live, and he was pretty funny. Let me take him. Matt Forte. Ooh, that sounds French. Ocho Cinco, because she thinks Spanish guys are hot. And she picked a tight end named Gates only because it's named after a shitty ABC soap opera about vampires. And all I can say is that this show wouldn't even be on the air if it wasn't for our sponsor. When blood comes wave after wave, shove one of these in your lady cave. Tampax. Tampax. Really? Let's see what it says you can do here. It says you can go swimming, you can play tennis, you can even go horseback riding with wearing one of these. You know what it says you can't do? It says you can't play fantasy football. For the love of God! In this PC world, women are taking over everything. Screw this. The censors can kiss my ass. I'm going off the cuff right here. Women don't belong in fantasy football. And they certainly don't belong in the locker rooms with men. They should be, doing women's stuff. Like gymnastics teachers, or soccer coaches, or kindergarten teachers. And let men have one thing to themselves: fantasy football. And as for our sponsors goes, let me be blunt. If you're bleeding, take one of these and shove it in your